Fine day to you, traveller. Come, come, rest for a while. Here, take a cup of ale, lay down that heavy burden, and sit by the fire with me. It's easy to get lost on the highways, and you look like you could do with a well-deserved rest. Here you'll only find comfort, company, and a tale or two to pass the time. Let the world go on with its troubles. Set down that heavy load, ease your shoulders, and sit down by the fire. There's much to tell in these parts. Stories of triumph and folly, of laughter and sorrow, of men who rose high and those who fell further still. The world might be toil and trouble, but here we have time. So come close, friend, and listen well. Well, you're lucky to catch me today. I've just walked back from the market. I was discussing with the tailor, making adjustments to a doublet for a friend of mine. He's started to spread laterally in his middle age. He claims he can make a doublet fit a man who's eaten too many pies without even taking a single measurement. Ah, now here's a curious thing. I stumbled across a letter today. Not addressed to me, mind. No, it was nailed to the village notice board, between a notice for a missing goat and a parsnip sale. Now, the interesting thing about this letter is that it's not signed who it's from, and I think that's an omission. It's simply signed, "If one is interested, then you can meet me in the tavern after dark." And I have a sneaking suspicion I know who this might be. It sounds a lot like a gentleman I know trying to woo young ladies. Sir Coleman. Now, what struck me first about this letter was the confidence. Here we go. Gallant, brave, handsome, virile. These are the words that the penman uses himself. I'm not making this up, listener. But it got me thinking, you see, about this odd business of how we fashion ourselves in our own minds. Sir Coleman, for example, in his mind, is a lion. A steel-clad, smouldering knight of song and story. He fashions himself a brooding figure by the hearth, his jaw sharp enough to cut leather, and his gaze deep enough to melt any maiden's heart. A true alpha among men. And yet, those of us who have met Sir Coleman will know the truth. He is less alpha and more, gamma. He considers himself a monument to men, and I can recall a time when that was true. It wasn't on the battlefield, no. This was in the narrow lanes of the village, where Sir Coleman tumbled headlong from a young girl's window. His belt had caught fast upon a low branch, leaving him dangling there like a goose at slaughter. His legs flailed, his pride dangled, and the only thing left upright was his dignity. Though even that looked ready to topple. He swore to me afterwards that the beauty of the maid was worth the humiliation, that no shame could outweigh the prize of her affections. Yet I know the lass myself, and she is as fair as a hog rooting merrily at the orchard's fallen apples. The onlookers' laughter echoed down the alleyways that day, and Coleman swore it was but the jealous cries of lesser men. Still, it is a curious thing, the picture one paints of oneself, and the picture the world paints in reply. It's a funny thing, isn't it? We all see ourselves differently. I dare say I have my own illusions. Perhaps in my mind I'm a stalwart leader, cunning as a fox, broad of shoulder, admired by all. But I know deep down that there are others who might look and see merely a man who drinks too much, argues too much, and has a talent for finding trouble where there ought be none. Still, the letter amused me. Not so much for its words, but for what it reveals. Self-image is a slippery thing, is it not? We all tell ourselves stories. We stride about in the theatre of our own minds, the hero of every scene, the cleverest voice at the feast. Yet, all the while, those around us are quietly noting the spinach in our teeth. Well, I suppose it's impossible for us to see ourselves as others do. Yet still, aren't we shaped by their glances, by their laughter, or their silences? A man may picture himself as bold, but ask any wife of his and she'll tell you that he squeals like a 6-year-old girl when you point out there's a spider on his shoulder. Perhaps you regard yourself as a fine singer until your neighbor points out that the windows aren't soundproof. Or perhaps you consider yourself the greatest of storytellers until you realize you have 0 views. As for me, well, I've no great wish to polish my reflection. Better to let the truth speak plainly than try to bend it into poetry. Life is already tangled enough without pretending to be taller, braver, or more handsome than the mirror allows. Better to stumble through the day as I am, awkward, distracted, perhaps, occasionally ridiculous, than to parade about in the finery of illusions. For what is vanity than a shadow that grows longer the more we chase it? Well, my friend, that's all I've got time for. The roads are long and winding, but they have a way of crossing again. So when next you find yourself wandering this way, you'll know where to find me. Safe travels.